A little bit.
Actually, my good meeting was
I'm going to call this meeting to order. The meeting of the Berry County Board of Commissioners is called to order. Will commissioners, staff, and guests please rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you this day that we are able to come to discuss the needs of our community and to make wise decisions for them. We also ask for your mercies for the family of Sue Rose and her passing. Be with all those men and women who serve in harm's way to afford us our freedoms. In Jesus' name, amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. For purposes of attendance, the clerk will call the roll.
Connor.
Here.
Geiger.
Here.
Gibson.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Smelker.
Here.
Wing.
Here. At this time, any commissioner or member of the public may ask for an item to be removed from the consent agenda and placed under items for consideration. Hearing no such request and without objection, the agenda is approved as written. Reports from state and county officers. Does any state or county officer or their representative have a report to share with the board? Oh, Megan is right on time.
She just came in. She might have a report.
She does.
You may not have heard this report.
Morning, I'm Megan Cordick from Rep. Kiley's office. I'm here to give a short legislative update on Harvey Path. She would like to know that of the first 10 bills passed by the House, 2 were Rep. Kiley's. At the beginning of March, the governor's budget came out. This is a starting point for negotiations. Rep. Kiley recently introduced legislation, which is House Bill 4405, that would designate all revenue from vehicle registration late fees go towards the Michigan Transportation Fund. Currently, a late fee is assessed if registration or renewal is not received by the Secretary of State on or before the expiration date of the registration plate. The money collected from this late vehicle registration currently goes to the general fund. Her bill would change this, so the money collected would go to the Michigan Transportation Fund. Recently, a bill package, the Raise the Age bill package, moved out of committee. This is a bipartisan bill package to end policy requiring 17-year-olds to be treated as adults in court. Rep. Kiley is committed to seeing that counties are properly supported with funding, as this will result in greater expenses for them. In the long run, she believes treating some of these offenders as juveniles will reduce overall expenses. She also would like to note that she held office hours in 4 locations in April, and we will be coming out with new dates in the near future. But in the meantime, if anybody has any questions or concerns, feel free to contact our office. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
Any other reports from state or county officials? All right. Limited public comment at this time. Any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes.
Good
morning. Sharon Sprowski, Carlton Township. Looking around today, it's easy to see why Berry County is a great place to live. It has loyal people who work hard to make the county the best that it can be. But too often we forget about the people that we don't see, the ones who really keep everything running. The people who are loyal to their job, who keep coming back day after day. So I want to say thank you to Commissioner Geiger for starting this recognition program, because you have made Berry County a great place to live. Thank you.
Any other public comments this morning?
Hi, my name is Larry Neal. I'm from Hastings Township. I noticed on your agenda that you're going to be talking about farmland preservation and open space. And I just want to compliment you on having that on your agenda. You know, recently I traveled around the county. One of the things I noticed was all those little developments, housing developments and so on, they're filling up. That they're going to be looking around for more land to develop and so on. So this is a perfect time that we get this underway and modernize our agenda, our ordinance. And I just want to compliment you on that and thank you so much.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Ken from the Berry County Animal Shelter, and I just wanted to take an opportunity here and introduce someone that's really vitally important to the animal shelter. And this is Barbara Scott. The Berry County United Way Volunteer of the Year Awards just happened last week, and I nominated Barbara to be for the Volunteer of the Year. And I just want to read and tell you, I wanted her to meet you, and you guys have the opportunity to meet Barbara and see what she does for the shelter and has for several years. Barb started volunteering at the shelter in March of 2015. She's kind of evolved into an unknown job. We call her the vet run lady. So each day she comes to the shelter and she helps with the cats and dogs every single morning and every afternoon. She does all of our veterinary runs, which is absolutely vital for us for the health and welfare of the animals at the shelter. She returns with all the animals, medications, the records, the instructions for all the animals under veterinary care for the shelter. She also volunteers her hours for special events, for the trap neuter return program, empty the shelter days, parades, and any other special event that we have going on at the shelter. This year she worked, in 2018, she worked at 3 Bissell events, 2 bake sales, a cat adoption event, all the TNR days. She works every single holiday. When the shelter is closed, Barb comes in every single holiday. She hasn't missed a holiday since 2015, volunteering at the shelter. And she also is in charge of all the volunteers at the Berry Roubaix race for the shelter, which is also a fundraiser. So I'm sure you're aware of all the volunteers that are there. They get a donation to their charity. Barb volunteers because she says no 2 days are alike. Her duties that need to be done in the morning are often different than the duties in the afternoon. And if the shelter is ever shorthanded or if we need something, Barb's always there and always willing to help. Her many years of experience have made her a very valuable and trusted person to assist with most anything that we need at the shelter. We see her zip into her cul-de-sac in her little Mini Cooper. I know the day's going to be just a little bit better because Barb's coming in and she didn't get hit in that little car. So last year, Barb volunteered 689 hours. As the director of the shelter, I think it's awful. Barb's oftentimes a sounding board for me when I need to talk to a specific subject or a direction I need to head in. And she makes a huge part in making every day a successful day at the shelter. You know, we are a small county shelter with a big heart, and it was my honor and privilege to nominate Barb as the NWA Berry County Volunteer of the Year. She did not deliver a baby in her porch, so we're going to work on that for next year's nomination, like one of the winners did. So anybody can help us with that, just give us a quick call if you want to win. Barb did win the whole lot of Impact Awards, so she did receive a special award from the Berry County United Way this year, and we're extremely proud of her. I like her because she's a Michigan fan. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Various correspondence. Does any commissioner have any correspondence to share with the board? Consent items.
I move for approval of the following items on the consent agenda. Item A, approval of the April 9th, 2019 Board of Commissioner meeting minutes. Item B, approval of the April 11th, 2019 Special Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item C, approval of the April 16th, 2019 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item D, approval to appoint Carrie Selleck to serve on the Berry County Community Mental Health Authority Board for a 3-year term that began on 4/1/19 and expires on 3/31/22. Item E, approval to appoint John LaForge to serve on the Berry County Planning Commission for a 3-year term that begins on 5/1/19 and expires on 4/30/22. Item F, approval to apply for FEMA Hazard Mitigation Program funds for the purpose of updating the Berry County Hazard Mitigation Plan that expired in 2012 and issue an RFP for this project. Item G, approval to reassign a 2010 Ford Edge VIN number 2FMDK3G0ABB17327, formerly with the Family Court, to Planning and Zoning Department, to sell via sealed bid to the highest bidder the 2008 Dodge Charger VIN number 2B3KA43678H114950, and to sell for scrap the 2001 Chevy Astro VIN number 1GNEL19W01B118458. Item H, approval of the attached renewal agreement between Berry County and MEI to locate an antenna on the existing radio tower at the Sheriff's Department. Item I, approval to replace the part-time property records clerk position in the Equalization Department with a new full-time property appraiser position as described in the attached job description at grade 6 on the BCCEA pay scale, and to promote Ingrid Pagano to the new position effective 4/29/19. Item J, approval to replace the GIS technical/residential property appraiser position grade 7-8 on the BCCEA pay scale with the new IT help desk/GIS technical position grade 8 on the BCCEA pay scale as described in the attached job description. Item K, approval to allow the use of excess funds from the $25,000 approved for the 2019 capital budget for the heating and air conditioning for the animal shelter training barn to complete the construction of the interior on the training barn. Second.
Then moved by Jackson, second by Parker, to approve the items listed under the consent agenda. Discussion is not allowed and a roll call vote is required. The clerk will call the roll.
Connor.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Smoker.
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. The consent agenda is approved. Presentations. We have Commissioner Geiger this morning.
You, Madam Chair, you have a script in front of you. You can just
Thank
start
you.
off.
I do have it someplace. Today we will recognize 10 employees who are proudly serving this county. Here to present our first honoree is Barb Hurlis.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. It's my proud to introduce April Staines. She is celebrating her 5th year working with Register Deed. She started as a deputy. Now she is my chief deputy. Anybody that knows April knows she's a very positive thinker, always bubbly, cheery. She has a gift of diffusing anybody that has a problem. She's got a great sense of humor. We're very thankful that she's part of our office. She's a positive thinker, a team-oriented player. She has a very good work ethic. She's very honest, dependable, but most of all, she is funny. So it really keeps our day moving. Madam Chair, for these reasons, I wish to have you celebrate the 5 years of service to come.
Angel Staines, for the reasons given here today and for your 5 years of service devoted to this county, the Board of Commissioners offers you its sincerest respect and admiration. Our next honoree, presenting our next honoree is Inez Straub.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Today is my privilege to introduce Amanda Miller. Amanda proudly serves in the Berry County District Court and is celebrating her 5 years of service with us. I have consistently been impressed with Amanda's work and commitment to the District Court office and the courts in general. Amanda's always one of those people that has a positive attitude. She's always willing and able to step up and assist us in any area that we need. She's caring and a very honest person. Amanda's one of those employees who needs very little supervision. She stays focused on her work and makes sure that everything is completed in a timely manner. She does a great job understanding and learning new assignments and is always willing to expand on her knowledge. Amanda does an outstanding job at working cooperatively and professionally with her coworkers and the clientele that we serve. She's an extremely hard worker and is always focused on providing quality service, making sure that everybody has their heard when they come into our office. Those who work with Amanda describe her with words like positive, trustworthy, passionate, encouraging, great listener, friendly. And for those reasons, Madam Chair, I ask that you recognize her 5 years of service and that the board recognize and commend Amanda for her sacrifice.
Amanda Miller, for the reasons given here today and for your 5 years of service devoted to Berry County, the Board of Commissioners offers you its sincerest respect and admiration. Presenting our next honoree, Coop Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today is my privilege to introduce Mr. Bill Voigt. Bill proudly serves as Director of Berry County Transit and to celebrate his 5th year of service, bringing with him a background as varied as law enforcement administration and aerospace component processing engineering. Bill Voigt began his tenure as Berry County Transit Director in February of 2014. For the next 5 years, Bill set in place initiatives to improve community access and mobility, allowing all Berry County residents to live where they wish while having access to all the resources necessary to enjoy a quality of life, with a new extension of transportation service to cover all areas of Berry County equally, without regard of population or location, as well as improving services into the evening. Transit ridership exploded with a 30% increase over previous years. Bill embraces the collaborative involvement of our community rather than preclude services that are difficult for any transit organization to provide. Bill and his staff have adopted the simple guidance, what if we can. This philosophy carries attention of Federal Transit Administration, who in October of 2016 awarded their highest national honor to the Berry County Transit. Bill constantly says that his employees and clients are his real inspiration, and he remains ours. Those who have served under Bill describes him with words like intuition, empathetic, honest, invested, positive, proactive. Madam Chair, because of these reasons and his 5 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Bill Voigt.
For the reasons given here today and for your 5 years of service dedicated to Berry County, the Board of Commissioners offers you its sincerest respect and admiration. Thank you. Presenting our next honoree, David Schiminger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today it is my privilege to introduce Mr. Aaron Staines. Aaron proudly serves the Berry County Information Systems Department and is celebrating his 10th year of service. Aaron has been a valuable part of our department and the county as a whole since joining us 10 plus years ago. In terms of his job performance, he is willing to learn whatever is necessary to perform the task at hand. This desire to continue his education has saved the county many thousands of dollars by being able to complete projects in-house. Initially hired as an IT technician, Aaron's drive and eagerness to learn has allowed him to progress to the level of network administrator, and in that position he has been an integral part of building out the county network factoring in security, efficiency, and cost. On a personal level, Aaron is always willing to help whenever and wherever he can. This includes full support around the clock and occasional midnight visits to the Sheriff's Department to restart a server. His reliability and dedication has unwavered from day one. He shows up every day with a great attitude and usually a good story. The trust that Aaron has built with other employees throughout the county has been built on a foundation of honesty and care. This trust has been recently substantiated by his election as president of the Berry County Employees Association. Those who have served with Aaron describe him with words like dedicated, enthusiastic, affable, reliable, fun to work with, and super smart. Madam Chair, because of these reasons and his 10 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Aaron Staines.
Aaron, for the reasons you're here today, for your 10 years of service to this county, I've witnessed it firsthand as on other boards. Please accept this sincere respect. We really appreciate everything you do. Keep us all running. Presenting our next 5 honorees. Somebody else gets to do some talking. Under Sheriff Matt Houchley. Oh, and the sheriff is going to jump in.
Morning.
Morning.
I've got a lot of great employees, you know it. We're blessed. Thank you, Madam Chair. Today is my privilege to introduce Officer Eric Van Valkenburg. Eric proudly serves in the Berry County Sheriff's Office and is celebrating his 10th year of service. Eric Van Valkenburg has dedicated 10 years of service to the Berry County Sheriff's Office. Eric has a sense of humor that others just cannot overlook. That's not an understatement, folks. He has always had the ability to appreciate the most positive parts of a miserable situation. Whether it be our other staff members or inmate population, Eric frequently offers optimistic views to those around him. He is quick to share his knowledge and experiences with his peers to help ensure their success and fulfill the mission of the Sheriff's Office. That's on duty and off duty. He's quite a fisherman and a hunter too. So, in addition to Eric's duties and responsibilities with the Corrections Division, he also has a vital role on the Sheriff's Office diet team as a surface technician, guiding search patterns, monitoring and recording a variety of data. The determination and work ethic Eric conveys is always reflected positively upon the Sheriff's Office and the surrounding community. Those who have served with Eric describe him with words like open-minded, confident, cheerful, efficient, supportive, and caring. Madam Chair, because of these reasons and his 10 years of service, I ask the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Eric Van Valkenburg.
Thank you for your 10 years of service. The board really appreciates and respects you and for everything. Thank you.
We have a couple that couldn't be here. One of them is the next one that I introduced to you. He's on vacation. Today's my privilege to introduce Officer Thomas Steensma. Thomas proudly serves the Berry County Sheriff's Office and is celebrating his 10th year of service. Thomas Steensma has dedicated 10 years of invaluable service to the Berry County Sheriff's Office. Tom is committed to his community, serving his people through his work. Tom has shared his talents with his peers by accepting additional responsibilities such as corrections training officer and use of force instructor, in addition to his daily duties. Tom took on the challenge of CTO, which is corrections training officer, to uphold the integrity of the Sheriff's Office by educating new hires with knowledge and expertise to succeed. Tom is extremely meticulous, a skill that provides beneficial in our daily operations, as it ensures accuracy, which provides quality results. Though extremely detail-oriented, Tom is easygoing and a pleasure to work with. Tom has a positive attitude that undoubtedly lifts spirits and relieves stress around the office. Tom's commitment does not stop there. Working long hours, Tom also serves the community as the Chief of Police in Freeport. He is respected by his peers and the residents he serves. Those who have served with Tom describe him with words like knowledgeable, productive, committed, considerate, dependable, and accommodating. Madam Chair, for this reason and his 10 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Tom Steensma.
to recognize his 10 years of service.
Another one who couldn't make it today. Privilege to introduce Deputy Don Wilgus. Don proudly served Berry County Sheriff's Office and celebrating 10 years of service. Deputy Don Wilgus began his career serving citizens of Berry County in November of 2007 as a part-time corrections deputy before becoming a full-time road deputy in March of 2009. Deputy Wilgus has spent patrol time in both Middleville and Berry County. Deputy Wilgus is also serving as a field training officer for newly hired deputies. We are pleased to congratulate Deputy Don Wilgus for 10 years of full-time service to the residents of Berry County. Those who have served with Don described him with words like dependable, easygoing, professional, polite, patient, and adaptable. Madam Chair, because of these reasons and his 10 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Don Wilgus.
It's an honor to recognize his 10-year milestone, too.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. It is my privilege to introduce Melinda Backus. Melinda proudly serves in the Berry County Sheriff's Office and is celebrating her 15th year of service. Melinda Backus has dedicated 15 years of service to the Berry County Sheriff's Office. Her peaceful demeanor brings a sense of calm to almost any situation. She has proven to be resourceful while serving the Sheriff's Office and members of the community. Melinda's honest and upfront approach with others has earned the respect of her peers as well as the residents she serves. Melinda continues to bring original concepts to the workplace. Her kind-heartedness is valued by those she works with. Each and every day, Melinda continues demonstrating her ability to succeed through consistent and reliable performance in the workplace. Those who serve with Melinda describe her in words like patient, creative, relaxed, frank, persistent, and practical. Madam Chair, because of these reasons and her 15 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Melinda Backus. Our next one, duty calls. Detective Sergeant Mackey had to do a very important interview, so she couldn't make it today. Today's my privilege to introduce Detective Sergeant Jeanette Mackey. Jeanette proudly serves in the Berry County Sheriff's Office and is celebrating her 20th year of service. We pick on her, we thought she started when she was about 12. Detective Sergeant Mackey began her career as a part-time dispatcher in 1999. Detective Sergeant Mackey later joined the Uniformed Service Division and was a canine handler. Detective Sergeant Mackey was assigned to the Detective Bureau in 2013 and she promoted to Detective Sergeant in 2015. Detective Sergeant Mackey is known by her peers for her leadership, tenacity, and professionalism. Detective Sergeant Mackey takes on the most complicated investigations, including homicides and difficult child abuse complaints. And this year she earned the award of the Child Advocate of the Year for Safe Harbor. Detective Sergeant Mackey is a fine example of our employees who go the extra mile to make sure that the citizens of Berry County are being well served. Those who served with Jeanette described her with words like dedicated, knowledgeable, professional, thorough, attention to detail, and confident. Madam Chair, for this reason and her 20 years of service, I ask that the Board of Commissioners recognize and commend Jeanette Mackey.
It's an honor to recognize 20 years of service and one employer. So,
All right.
thank you. Presenting our next honoree, Julie Nackford Pratt.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Good morning.
Everyone. Thank you, Madam Chair. Today, it is my privilege to introduce Mary Hermanette. Mary proudly serves in the Berry County Prosecutor's Office and is celebrating her 25th year of service. Mary Hermanette has been the backbone of the Prosecutor's Office as long as I can remember. She has taken the time to become well-versed on every aspect of the office, including budget, processing criminal cases for attorneys and law enforcement. Mary is also a key team player in finding ways to improve the function of the Prosecutor's Office, both internally
and as we relate to other agencies and to the public. She is respectful and professional, courteous and kind, and I emphasize kind. Mary has been a great help to me over the years as I navigate the administrative aspects of my job. Mary is very personable, dependable, and most importantly, she is very patient. Mary never forgets birthdays, work anniversaries, and other milestones. She is also compassionate when it comes to family and personal issues that arise with her coworkers. Her loyalty is immeasurable, and we are lucky to call her our coworker and friend. The prosecutor's office recognizes how fortunate we are to have Mary in our office for most of her 25 years with the county. Our community benefits from her dedication and hard work every day. I asked her coworkers to describe Mary as well. Below are their thoughts. Thank you, Mary, for your service. Those who have served with Mary describe her with words like efficient, amazing, thoughtful, self-reliant, funny, and vital. Thank you, Mary. Madam Chair, because of these reasons and her 25 years of service, I ask the Board of Commissioners that they recognize and commend Mary Hermanette.
25 years of service. I dare to ask how many different prosecutors you've worked with, but lots. So thank you.
Thank you.
So this concludes our ceremony. I would ask that all the honorees stick around for a few minutes to get their picture taken. So the commission will stand at recess until the patient list this morning is Erin Moore from the MSU Extension District 7. Morning, Erin.
I do not for this one. I'll have to. Thank you.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Erin Moore. I'm the district director for MSU Extension. Now, here last year at this time, I had been in this role for a month. So this year I get to come back, and I've been in this role for about a year. So I'm excited to have learned and be more conversational in our programs. So I just want to start with giving a brief overview of MSU's structure, just as a review for the public and for all of you. We have 4 different service areas and represent institutes, and those are health and nutrition, agriculture and agribusiness, children and youth development, and then our 4th one is called community food and environment. And that institute was recently renamed. It used to be called the Greening Michigan Institute, but we have renamed it to Community Food and Environment because it more aptly describes the programs that are actually offered in that institute. Great. To kick us off, I want to talk a little bit about some of our program highlights in agriculture and agribusiness. We brought on a new farm business management educator this year, John Laporte. He is based in Cass County, but serves all of Southwest Michigan. And this year he came to Barry and did one-on-one consultations with different farmers. He really focused on the new tax law and how that's impacting farmers and working on tax management strategies to reduce costs on farm and to save costs with regards to taxes. So this year, self-reported by farmers, there was a combined tax savings of just over $200,000 and job retention of about 109 employees. So we're really excited to have John as part of our MSU Extension team and hope that he can continue serving Barry County in that way. We also are the state's leader in horticulture education, and Barry County residents have taken advantage of many of our different horticulture education classes, such as our Master Gardener Certification Program. And actually the Master Gardeners maintain a plot out at the county fair, if anyone's out there. Notice that plot, it's a very gorgeous piece of property. We also have something called the Smart Gardening Initiative, where we're training gardeners across the state. There's over 9 million gardeners in Michigan. Just you and I, people without a green thumb, that would be me, that need to understand how to garden and to do it in an environmentally friendly way. We also have a gardening hotline where people can call in any time of day and get their questions answered. Whether you maybe have a tree dying in your yard and need to know why it's dying, you can submit a photo online and someone will give you a call back and explain what's happening and walk you through that process. We continue to have a robust 4-H program. Actually, we say Barry County is our 4-H program. We have about over 1,700 kids enrolled in some youth development program with MSU Extension here in the county. We have a strong hand and still at the fair. I'm sure if you say 4-H, you think of the fair, and about 900 youth participated at the fair in 2018. And it generated livestock auction sales around $800,000. So we are very proud of the work that we're doing with the fair. And unfortunately, our 4-H program coordinators are out at spring conference, so they were unable to be here today, but they continue to work hard year round. Fair, as we know, is just 1 week a year, but that work happens every day of the year. You may remember last year I was speaking about how to expand our reach with 4-H and not just engage youth that are traditionally enrolled in the program. So we are doing what we call special interest clubs. We have one called Just Nature, which is a partnership with Pierce Cedar Creek. And those kids are out there on Pierce Cedar Creek's property learning everything from...
Sorry. So, outside of this building, there's some gardens. So I do want to just acknowledge and appreciate the support that you've given for us to be able to start this program. It's our MSU Extension Taste Gardens, and we have we are sit on the board, we sit on the coalition called the Be Healthy Coalition. So we're a big part of that, and they've been able to provide us with some funding for this program here to start it.
And what we've been able to do is, as you can see, we have the gardens. We have a pretty good start on it. And we would like to be able to, what it is it's we'd like to invite you to visit it this year once we get it up and going, but we got to wait till the weather breaks for that. But what it will do is it will not only pull traffic into our office for people to get more information on nutrition and fruits and vegetables and that kind of thing, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to grow some unique vegetables that the community can come and taste and pick and enjoy. So we had lemon zucchinis last year, and we had some little pear-shaped tomatoes for the community, and we had some families come by and they were picking them and eating them, and that's our whole goal for that. And the one thing that's really nice about this garden is it does pair well with the Food Forest Initiative, as well as the Blue Zones Initiative that's happening, beginning to happen within the community. The farmers market will be right across the street, so if anybody wants to take some of the vegetables, they can go right over to the farmers market and then hopefully grab some vegetables that are very similar, if not the same. And as well as the other thing that we have as MSU Extension is we have health initiatives in each of our counties. So this really falls in line with our office to be able to go out and take care of the gardens and make them beautiful for the community to enjoy. So this year we're planning to expand it just a little bit and maybe involve some fruit if we can, like strawberries and maybe some blueberries, that kind of thing. So we've got some different things that we would like to do with the gardens and stuff. So that's what that garden is on the outside. Those gardens when you see them is our MSU Taste Gardens. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. We hope that you come stop by because it really is neat, and we've had multiple families across the street over from the farmers market with their kids and very nervously take something that they've never taken before and taste it. It's really neat to see. So to continue on with our report, we have quite a robust offering of water programs. This is new to MSU Extension. We continue to grow this area of program delivery, and so I've actually brought our water program, and I've left quite a few copies over here on my left for anyone to take in the public or commissioners. But Barrett County residents participated in a variety of these programs. We had a cooperative lakes monitoring program, Michigan Inland Lakes Convention, and even botany classes on aquatic plants out at the Kellogg Biological Center. We even had a very representative invited to serve on our Water School Statewide Advisory Council. And essentially what that council does is it advises us on where are the needs for local water programs. I know all across the state of Michigan there's issues with our inland lakes and our streams and our rivers, and we need to know about that so we can do the research and bring those resources from campus back to the county. And then just to wrap up, I wanted to let everyone know that we're running a statewide media campaign called Explore Extension. So we encourage everyone to go to exploreextension.msu.edu. We find that there's a lot of people that know about NSU Extension, but we want to continue to put our message out there. We are here to serve all residents of Michigan, and we have quite a few programs that do that, and we want to bring them down to Berry County. So this website is set up so that if you enter the website and basically put in your information and what your interests are, and it'll tell you what's the best local program they're ready for you to take. So with that, I'm open for questions from the commissioners or anyone from the public.
Commissioner Geiger.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a couple of questions. The first is, what would your message be to somebody that doesn't have an ag background, a young person in school that doesn't live on a farm? What type of programs might you offer to them?
Youth programs? For example, we actually have one coming up in a couple weeks. It's called Financial Literacy for non-4-Hers. And actually, it is a 4-H program, but you don't have to have an ag background. And what we're finding more and more is that youth need to learn about how to make a budget, manage their money, learn about student loan applications, or if they're past that, how to repay their student loans. So we have lots of programs around that. And actually, you're part of the BCAN Coalition. We're going to market that through that network, the Berry Career Access Network. Sorry for acronyms.
Yeah, there's a lot. The second question is, when it comes to healthy food options, we live amongst a lot of food deserts where there aren't a lot of healthy choices. What can we as policymakers do to encourage healthy food options?
That is a good question. I hate to say only funding, but that's one option is to fund programs like CSA to Pantry. That's one model that we've seen a lot of success in Ottawa County. CSA is a community shared agriculture, so we have a pantry in Ottawa County that's actually purchasing directly from the farmers to have that offering at the pantry, and that's one way. Continue to promote the Double Up Food Bucks program, which is that program essentially takes what your federally allowed SNAP dollars, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and doubles them if you buy Michigan-grown produce at different stores or farmers markets. CSA's even started accepting those. So promoting programs like that and encouraging people to take advantage so that they're buying local too, so it's contributing back to the economy.
Great. Definitely look into that. Thank you.
Any other questions for Aaron? I know that Extension has so many different programs, and on the back of the report, there's all different areas that Extension addresses. I know that in some areas they have nutrition classes for new moms to help them with feeding youngsters or how to take care of themselves before and after a baby's been born. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that our parents grew up with in the 50s that we've forgotten that Extension provides a service for. So I know they used to do little clinics on how to make sure your canner still worked and to check your pressure gauge and stuff, but now all the manufacturers just tell you buy a new one, don't even bother checking it. But there's still a lot of information that Extension provides to help us, make healthy choices in our homes and make better educated choices for our dollars. Being exposed to Extension as an agricultural professional, you get the extra stuff once in a while, and so it's always nice to be able to say, I got just the person for you, and here's their phone number, and know that they're going to get the right stuff from Extension. So, thanks, Aaron. Alrighty. Public hearings, we have none. Items for consideration.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of transfers and disbursements, approval of claims in the amount of $93,521.61.
Support.
Motion by Gibson, motion by Geiger, support by Gibson. I'll get it right. For the approval of transfers and disbursements, approval of claims in the amount of $93,521.61. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Geiger?
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Wing,
Yes. The item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of amendments to the Berry County Farmland Preservation Ordinance.
Support.
It's been moved by Geiger, support by Jackson, for the approval of the amendments to the Berry County Farmland Preservation Ordinance. Is there any discussion? Hearing.
I didn't notice any changes made in anything that was presented at the special town meeting on the 11th, correct? I mean, I didn't miss anything, I didn't think.
Think so? Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. The clerk will call the roll.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
No.
Connor,
No.
Geiger,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. Item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the attached Berry County Open Space Preservation Ordinance.
Support.
Motion by Geiger, support by Jackson, for the approval of the attached Berry County Open Space Preservation Ordinance. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. The clerk will call the roll.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
No.
Connor,
No.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. The item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the adoption of Resolution 1907 to authorize the issuance of fidelity insurance coverage to Berry County Road Commissioners.
Support.
Motion by Geiger, support by Gibson, for the adoption of the resolution 19-7 to authorize the issuance of fidelity insurance coverage to Berry County Road Commission. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. The item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the adoption of Resolution 1908 to accept the 2019 Berry County equalization values and approval of the 2019 Berry County equalization values on State Form L-4024.
Second.
Motion by Geiger, support by Connor, for the adoption of Resolution 19-8 to accept the 2019 Berry County equalization values and approval of the 2019 Berry County equalization values on State Form L-4024. The clerk, is there any discussion? The clerk will call the roll.
Smelker,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. The item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the adoption of Resolution 1909, a resolution of authorization for the 2018 Homeland Security Grant Program Intergovernmental Funding Agreement between the County of Van Buren and the County of Berry, and authorize the chairperson and administrator to sign it.
Second.
The motion by Geiger, support by Parker. Adoption of Resolution 19-9, resolution of authorization for the 2018 Homeland Security Grant Program Intergovernmental Funding Agreement between County of Van Buren and the County of Berry, and authorize the chair and administrator to sign it. Discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Connor,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. Item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval to spend $24,137 to replace the heating unit for the animal shelter kennels with funds to be paid for the building rehabilitation fund.
Support.
Motion by Geiger, support by Jackson, for the approval to spend $24,137 to replace the heating unit for the animal shelter kennels with funds to be paid from the building rehabilitation fund. Discussion. Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. The item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the attached municipal employees retirement system application for the additional service credit purchase requested by Julie Jones and allow her to purchase 7 months of generic service with MERS.
Second.
Motion by Geiger, support by Parker, for the approval of the attached municipal employees retirement system MERS application for additional service credit purchase requested by Julie Jones to allow her to purchase 7 months of generic service with MERS. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Gibson,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Smelker,
No.
Connor,
No.
Geiger,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes. The item is approved.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval to appoint Gerald Schmidtke to serve on the Berry County Commission on Aging Board for a 3-year term that began on January 1st, 2019 and expires on December 31st, 2021, and to appoint Catherine Gramsey to serve on the Berry County Commission on Aging Board for the remainder of a 3-year term that began on January 1st, 2017 and expires on December 31st, 2019.
Second.
Motion made by Geiger, supported by Connor, for the approval to appoint Gerald Schmidtke to serve on the Berry County Commission on Aging Board for a 3-year term that began on January 1st, 2019 and expires on December 31st, 2021, and to appoint Catherine Gramsey to serve on the Berry County Commission on Aging Board for the remainder of a 3-year term that began on January 1st, 2017 and expires on December 31st, 2019. Discussion?
Madam Chair, I move to table the question. The reason I moved to table this is because the Berry County Commission on Aging Board is a very important board, and we have made a commitment to seeking out the most qualified and individuals to serve, and right now we don't have a full slate, so we can't make a good decision. So I'd like to see this decision postponed for another 6 weeks, and then make a decision if we have more applicants. We're already in the term anyway. We're already behind.
Is there support for his motion? Okay. I don't have my cheat book. So how do I proceed? Vote?
Just a quick motion for clarification purposes. I think the original motion was to table, although there was a discussion about postponing. Are you tabling it just for this meeting, or postponing it?
Postponing it for a month.
Okay, so to make sure everybody's on the same.
Because you're wanting to have.
I want to have more applicants.
Well, I mean, we did have 3 applicants and 3, but the one lady had a death in her family, so she couldn't make it last week. So,
And she is scheduled to come in May.
so I mean, we did have 3 positions, we did have 3 applicants.
Well, if she's coming in May, we might as well
But
give her a shot now.
but there's still another position that needs to be filled. Correct? Correct, Mike? Is that
Yeah, I
correct?
think there's 3.
There were 3 positions
And then
to
a
be
part.
filled,
3, I believe, yes.
and we're filling 2, and that leaves 1, and she's coming back in at May. I mean, I'm not saying that we'll have to wait until we interview her, but I mean, we did
Yeah, let's
have.
just do it all at the same time, I would say.
And hasn't been out before. It wasn't just this last time. It's been offered over the last 6 months, I think.
I do believe that it was advertised a cycle. And I don't remember if the reason we then advertised again. So this is the second.
Right.
If my memory is correct, this would have been the second round of advertisements, and we now will have to at some point, and I don't know if that's out now or if we'll wait till we get a few other boards, but we'll have to advertise again because, as Commissioner Connor indicated, there's still a vacancy left. After this, if you were to make these appointments today, there would still be a vacancy remaining.
But the other individual that was scheduled last week will be in May for an interview.
Why are we interviewing if there's no competition?
Well, she had a death in her family.
I'm just saying, it's.
She showed interest to be on the board, and we would have interviewed her last week, except for her unfortunate loss. So, we owe her the interview.
Have they had a problem with having a quorum?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't like kicking the can down the road. That's my problem. Is I think they need some people there to get on the board as soon as possible.
Any further discussion? So the motion on the table is to postpone this appointment until we have the opportunity to interview the other candidate in May. Do you have a designated date that you'd like to move this to, or just for the next?
Second BOC.
The ones we interviewed won't have to be interviewed again, right? Okay.
So this would push it to the end of May. Which I know that they are preparing another advertisement for board positions to go in this weekend's paper, which would give us a month.
Yeah.
The second BOC in May would be the 28th. So, any other discussion? So we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of tabling or postponing this decision until the second BOC in May, please say aye.
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 Opposed, the same?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I hear 2 and 3 voices. So,
What?
Well, 2 and 3, that's only 5.
would
We
you
have
like
7.
to?
We have 7
Right?
board members.
And so we're still missing 2 votes on this. Do we want to have a division? Let's do a roll call vote then.
Motion to postpone, Jackson,
No.
Parker,
No.
Smelker,
Yes.
Connor,
No.
Geiger,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Wing.
Yes.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses, 3 noes.
The item is postponed until May 28th.
So in addition to the 2, we're going for just one position with a new advertisement.
Yes, there will be a new advertisement for this
And we'll
weekend.
pick one out of those that come from that.
See how that works. All right.
Okay, so I do have a question on how that's going to work. Because if we're postponing this until May 28th, if we interview again, we are only going to be selecting one. Is that correct?
I think that there are 2 positions.
I
thought there was 3 positions and a part-time position, or a fulfilling position. The half position, the one that's already started, that started in 17.
Oh, I thought that
So
was
I thought there was,
Catherine.
right, but so
There's
I
another
think
one?
there was 3 3-year terms and one that had already started.
I don't remember. I didn't bring my backpack.
Okay, the minutes.
We're seeing what applications come in, and if we do have people that want to serve, I think we should give them a chance to interview.
In your packet, on the second page shows the listing of members, and there are 3 vacancies at the bottom of that.
Okay, so,
And 2 have been filled,
well,
but we have to vote on
we have to
that.
vote on them in May 28th. So how many will we only be selecting one at the cow that we do the interviews?
We have one lady that we're going to interview next 2 weeks, the 7th, and then whatever applications that we get over the next few weeks, we'll have the opportunity to interview them before the May meeting. or at the May meeting.
But the
Because
other-
there's two 3-year terms that still don't have somebody appointed to them.
Right, but we're moving this question to appoint Ramsey and Schmidtke to May 28th.
We may change the names, though.
Well, why? We're not just saying we're not going to put them in there, we're postponing it.
Why are we postponing it if we,
Because you asked to have it postponed.
I asked to have it postponed because I want to see what other applicants are out
But
there.
that doesn't mean that they still haven't been approved at the cow last week. They were still approved at the cow last week. We're just postponing the final approval.
We're postponing approval until we find out what applicants are out there.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'm confused because I just asked that these two will be part of it. Why can't we approve those two that have already been approved at the cow? Why do we have to, and then you want to postpone to see how many other applicants you can get with the advertisement, correct?
Right.
And then, so that person would be available for the interview, the one that didn't come.
Get that.
And then with others at that time, wouldn't it be?
Well,
She'd have to wait too, if we chose her, we're not going to choose her until,
one of the applicants to
One of
fill
the-
the
yeah.
remaining one position.
right. So I'm confused because I thought that these other two can get started with the Commission on Aging if we approve them today.
I know, but we just voted to postpone it.
But
I know,
I don't understand the reason for the postponing is if you're, I don't understand.
We're just extending the application period. That's all it is. I don't think we need to overthink this. We're just extending the application period. And if somebody
Yeah, but then
else wants to
you're
apply-
talking about then in June then.
Excuse me, I have a question. How many, when the posting goes out, what will it be for? One vacant position?
Be for
Because,
multiple positions, probably.
but we, at the cow, we already approved these two.
We recommended to the Board of Commissioners to approve these two. They have not been appointed
No, not-
until we vote for
Right,
them.
okay,
to
all
be
right,
appointed. So
that's better language.
there's
But-
room for, like, if we have 10 applicants to interview, there's room to make a different decision because of the postponement, because this board has not voted to appoint these two individuals to those spots.
So then when we interview and you want to fill them with different candidates, if that were the pleasure of the board, we would be voting on 3 candidates and then we would be voting on these two also, 5 candidates?
It's possible.
I thought.
We're only postponing this, we're not turning it down, we're just postponing it, so we have to vote on this again, correct?
Not necessarily.
No, you
I mean,
postponed it.
It has to be on the agenda again. We're just postponing our decision until we know what.
So are you trying to just oust them from what we recommended last week?
I want to see who else is out there.
We've been through 2 cycles that way. And if somebody was interested, or if you were interested in having some other people, you should have recommended them and had them do it.
And so what you're trying to do is manipulate the vote from last week. Because we already recommended this to the board, and now you say, well, I want to look to see who else is out there. And so they
I'm
could.
sure how long are we going to discuss this?
So,
I didn't hear.
So, I don't like this precedence that you're setting. We could recommend somebody and then you just said if it doesn't get on the agenda, it would just go away?
I don't understand what the confusion is about.
We have to vote on this.
John, why did
We've
you
already
vote?
voted to postpone
I
it till
voted
the
on
end
it for
of May.
discussion. I got more than I thought.
So, moving forward, we've already voted to postpone this till the end of May. And so our discussion can continue during our commission of the whole meetings. if it so gets on our agenda. But for today, this is already done. Moving along, we'll go to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business to come before the board? Seeing none. Is there any new business to come before the board? County Administrator report.
I'm all set, thank you.
Chairperson's report. Finished my meeting cycle for the month yesterday. It just seems like April was short. So yesterday we had a community action meeting in Battle Creek. I would like to encourage everyone to visit Northside Pizza. I think until the 1st of May, I'm not sure. They are doing an additional fundraiser for the new project that they've got in the old Ponderosa building. They are selling gourmet popcorn for $10 a bag. Half of the proceeds go to the fund, and the other half buys the popcorn. Lots of different flavors. I do not have the sales sheet with me, but it is a great way to express support for what Community Action is doing in our community. Other than that, it is track season, and I have kids in track, so I get to be outside for the next however many weeks. And it is also that time of year you will start seeing those little orange placards. They are officially called a slow-moving vehicle sign. It is their official capacity is to be on the back of tractors and implements of husbandry, plows, drags, you name it, hay wagons. They are not supposed to be on your driveway. They are not supposed to be a driveway marker. They are supposed to be on slow-moving vehicles only. So please give them the space that they require. It is still illegal to pass on a double yellow line. So the few minutes that it's going to take you to get to a passing zone will save your life and someone else's. So please remember that it is time to start planting and working up the ground, and our farmers deserve your respect. I also would like to give kudos to the Ag Preservation Committee. They have worked very hard to get ready for the next phase of their mission. So, Vice Chairman's report.
Thank you. I attended the Prairieville Township meeting. We had quite a busy meeting. They adopted an opt-out ordinance on the marijuana. They also adopted a blight ordinance, what we would call similar to our junk ordinance for the county. And they also passed a hindering ordinance, so that there is an ordinance and there are ramifications if you hinder the police. John and I met twice with Daisy and Inez from Daisy from Friend of the Court and Inez from the Court Administrator's Office, and Michael, regarding the FOC move. We had a set down, just a talk through, and then we also went through the buildings, and our next step is going to be meeting with Bob Van Putten. He has the schematics and the blueprints and everything, and built that building, so he can give us a little bit more of an idea of what would be involved to go ahead with the move.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, Conservation District Board, sorry.
All right.
We met with Julie Calley regarding state funding on conservation districts. A few years ago, the state stopped their funding of those, and so we met with her, just to say, kind of fill her in on what the conservation district does and where their funding source comes from. And this Friday and Saturday, all day Friday and Saturday morning, is the tree sale. The Conservation District would like the commissioners to come out and see what that's all about. We also would like the audience to come out too. They're going to have some equipment out there. They're going to have their forester out there, people to talk to about their programs. So if you want to go out to Charlton Park on Friday or Saturday, the Conservation District would love to have you come out. Jim Dahl and I met with Doug Kelly, attorney for the Drain Commission Office, and we met regarding a contract between the Gun Lake Tribe and the Gun Lake Improvement Board and the Gun Lake Protective Association. The tribe is they've got a grant, and they're donating 3 boat cleaning stations for Gun Lake, 2 for the state park and 1 for the Allegan County Park. So we met on that to make sure that the verbiage was correct before we entered into it. While the GLIB is Gun Lake Improvement Board, sorry, we call it GLIB, while the GLIB board is not county-wide, it's not a county board, it is an independent board, and the county is the fiduciary, where the assessment comes in on taxes, and so the county is the fiduciary, so that's why I'm just mentioning it. So, and it's a great thing as we continue with invasive species, so.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. It's good to hear what we're doing. Commissioner Parker.
Yes. Parks and Rec deadline for grant, May 8th. So if you know somebody that hasn't got it in, or they want to try to get a grant from Parks and Rec, they have to have it in by the 8th. At LDFA meeting in Middleville, and basically we're going to be putting, the LDFA will be putting some money in helping on Crane Road, fix some guardrails and kind of make it more safe over in that area where the big trucks are coming in and that too. So, the other thing that Parks and Recs are doing is we're trying to go for a new website, and Dave Schinneber is going to be helping them, meeting with him shortly about us being able to do it as a county. And so hopefully that'll really help jazz up the website as far as Parks and Rec is concerned, because that's an important thing to have, is the pictures of things that are going on.
You can't really read about a park and want to go.
Pardon me?
You really can't read about a park and want to go.
Yeah, right. And then I think I have some good news on broadband. We're getting an interest of people wanting to go for a grant for Berry County for broadband. Don't have enough details, and we'll be picking those up along the way, but there will be a letter that will ask all of the commissioners to endorse, that would not endorse any particular company for that, but just the fact that whoever's going to give the grants through the state of Michigan will know that we are serious about needing to have broadband in this county, in rural areas. So that'll be probably, I don't know if any of you have gotten that copy of that letter that's it'll be coming to you, that you can look at and see if it's something that you're comfortable with. If you want any changes to it or something along that line, we'll get, we're working with the Chamber of Commerce and Cindy Lucia on that too. So we can put any input we want for that letter. But I think then we should go out to our schools and our industry that's in your district and ask them if they could endorse that also. And it just gives the state of Michigan an idea that we're serious, that we really want to have this thing happening in our county. So, and the best way we can, whatever we can do to get those grant monies for those people that are going to make an investment in their county. I think that's about it for me.
I can tell you, we've gotten information at the farm about broadband from a couple of different providers interested in coming into the county. I don't remember what they are, but
okay.
So they are starting to move on that.
Yep.
Commissioner Geiger.
The Planning Commission met last night. We discussed a gravel pit operation in Hope Township, I believe, or it might be Berry. I attended the West Michigan Works Association Board of Directors meeting on Monday as well. We have a Career Quest coming up. It's a big convention where high school students from across West Michigan are bussed in, and they can learn more about different career trades. It's a very, very successful event. It's been replicated across the United States. So MI Career Quest is the website to learn more about that. Yeah. Nashville's sesquicentennial is coming up in August. This is the 150th year since the village's founding. We're having a lot of celebrations, and all county commissioners are invited and encouraged to attend. There's a lot of community planning, and I think there's something for everybody there. So that's Nashville150.org if you want to learn more. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you. Attended Hope Township meeting. They appointed a new zoning enforcement administrator. Other than that, it was fairly quiet. Not quite the same at Berry Township the following evening. There was a lot of people from Crooked Lake there on both sides who are unhappy with the expenses and unhappy with the water. So the task force meeting is next Monday the 29th, 5:30. I believe it's the start time on at the Prairieville Township Hall. If you're interested in participating or learning more about what's going on down there, it continues to be a liquid situation, fluid situation. It's interesting based on what's going on there. Also had the EDA board and the Brownfield board on there. They continue to look. Brownfields continue to expand and look at other projects in the area. Of course, we all attended the Farmland Preservation meeting. Happy to see that went as it did through. I think that's a good opportunity for Berry County. Our health department meeting is this Thursday, the 25th. And again, thank you to Commissioner Geiger for the awards and the presentations. That's been a nice tradition that you've put together and something that I think we all appreciate, celebrating our employees. So kudos to you for doing that. Thank you.
Commissioner Smoker.
I'm fine, thank you.
Commissioner Gibson.
At my mental health board meeting, we approved the audit. We had election of officers. Chairperson is Linda Maupin, Vice Chair Bob Nelson, Secretary Bob Becker. We talked about the electronic health records. We approved the mid-year training for staff in Dallas, Texas. We had an educational meeting. We're set up between the hospital, the courts, and Berry County Community Mental Health Authority. We had an autism study was done on Berry County Community Mental Health and received an excellent mark on the audit and 100% on the administrative area. 131 people used the Lighthouse on the Lake Center in March. 5 people volunteered at the Robex bike race. At the Transit Board meeting, we approved the oxygen transportation policy. We also approved the service animal policy on the buses. At my construction meeting at the Transit, construction has started. The transit manager has talked to employees about going slow in the construction area. Sewer connection found a place to hook on that is only 4 feet deep and has been agreed to by the city. Water supply, no problems at this time. Anticipated interruptions with electric. Electric might be down for a half hour at certain times. This will not affect any of the buildings in the area. We have generators to keep the electric going. Everything is on schedule day by day. Completion is set for the 1st of November. Next construction meeting is May the 2nd at 10 a.m. at Berry County Transit. At the City Council meeting last night, the city approved the YMCA using Tyden Park and Hastings Skate Park for adult co-ed sand volleyball league, June the 25th, 2019 through August the 6th. They also approved Hope Network Berry County Volunteer Transportation Service to hold an open house Thursday, May the 30th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. They also had some discussion about the Eaton Rapids has a adoption of an ordinance on marijuana, and the city is going to look at this and they're going to come up with some kind of an ordinance. The police chief is working on that. Spectrum Health, they agreed to let Spectrum Health use some parking spaces at Fish Hatchery Park while they're doing their building addition. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Limited public comment at this time. Any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes.
Rick Moore, Berry County Parks and Rec Board. I also want to congratulate Commissioner Geiger on the thank you for the employees for the good work that they do. Whenever I was in management positions, I always felt that it's better to compliment people for what they're doing right, rather than picking apart everything they do that's different than what I do. And so it's nice to see that reward. Also, at the Sesquicentennial for Nashville, the Parks and Rec Board and the Thornapple Trail Association will be hosting a grand opening of the paved part of the Paul Henry Trail in Nashville. Last Tuesday, they peeled the sod back and compacted the railroad ballast, and now there's another layer of gravel on there that's been compacted on the west side of the Quaker Brook Bridge. So I'm really looking forward to getting the asphalt down there. And there's also a temporary connection between the paved section of the trail and the new section of sidewalk on Fuller Street Elementary. And while MDOT is still calling it a temporary section, the Village of Nashville and Scott Decker has assured me that they're going to make that permanent. Because why take out a sidewalk that's perfectly good and remove it? It's just illogical. So they've assured me that they're going to do that. And the crosswalks on Reed Street and M66 will be thoroughly marked, so people driving down the road will know that there is a crosswalk there. Because the traffic in downtown Nashville seems kind of fast to me. Going 30 mile an hour through the downtown section is just too fast, especially for a semi and stuff. And part of the reason that folks fought against that trail in Nashville is because somebody got hit by a car back in the 50s, and so they didn't want people crossing the street. Well, people have been crossing the street every day ever since, and nobody's been hit, so let's build the trail. And now they're doing it, and they're getting a lot of community support. They've applied for a grant from the Parks and Rec Board. They've announced it in the paper. I don't know if it's gotten to Catherine Getty or not yet. But they're changing the name of Central Park to Parody Park because Mr. Parody is the one that founded the village with his money left over from capturing John Wilkes Booth. So Nashville's got a fantastic history. I'm glad that 20 years ago somebody revived all that history and that we can share it now. So thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you, Joyce Snow, for bringing in the idea that you should all let us know what you've been doing during the week. Yours is not just a part-time job. You're working full-time, and we all need to know. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick. Any other public comment? Is there any other business to come before the board? I would just like to add that yesterday one of our commissioners celebrated a birthday, and I would be remiss if we did not, as a board, at least say happy belated birthday to Commissioner Connor. Thank you. So,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, there being no further business and without objection, the board will now adjourn.
Economic development is going